Hi folks, and welcome back to the Star Wars Library, where Star Wars is in print. And we are finally at the end of the Jedi Prince series, and I'm a little upset, not because we're done, but because I thought I had the final book in its own individual form, and I didn't. So, it's actually, thank goodness I got this, I actually have it in this cool Barnes & Noble 2-in-1. They actually did these for the first 3 books of the series, and then they did it for the last 3. I thought I had book 6 in the individual book. If I do have it, maybe it's up in our attic, but I don't know why it would be there. But thankfully, it's in here. Of course, this cover is the Mission for Mount Yoda cover, so this is not the cover of the book. The cover is like this orange and black background with some stormtroopers and Luke and Ken staring intently at the reader. That's pretty much how it goes. But anyways, this book was released on April Fool's Day, of all days. And this is the last book in the series, so here we go. So, Triculus, as he died, he made Grand Moff Hissa promise that he would make Luke Skywalker and the rebels pay for killing him. So meanwhile, Leia finds Triclops, who they think is on their side as a rebel agent, is actually sleepwalking, and then he's sending files electronically through an implant in one of his teeth. And so Leia says, hey, let's put a defense plan or probe in the lost city of the Jedi, just to be on the safe side. So these plans are put into place. The rebels then go back to their old base on Yavin 4. So meanwhile, Zorba is meeting with the prophets of the dark side in their space station, Scardia, I think is how you say it, Scardia. So he ends up being the main witness on a trial of the Moth ship, which again is still a stupid name. But anyways, Luke and Ken then end up from here going on a mission because Triclops transmits info from the rebellion when he sleepwalks. Basically how this works is he's unaware of it when he's awake, but when he's asleep, he sleepwalks and he's transmitting this data from this thing in his tooth. And so they seek this mushroom to neutralize this chip or whatever, which don't ask me how a mushroom can neutralize a tooth chip, but whatever. So, they get captured by the prophet, or Luke and Ken and whatnot get captured by the prophets of the dark side, and they force them to show them the lost city of the Jedi. Ken does so, basically because they're like, hey, we'll tell you who your parent, your father is. So Ken is like, okay, so he shows them, and then it's revealed that Ken is the son of Triclops. I remember you're like, wait, what? Like, what happened? Because throughout the series, they're kind of hinting that Triclops might be the son or somehow related to Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's not. But now, because he's the son of Triclops, who's the son of the Emperor, Ken is Palpatine's grandson. And you're just like, wait, what? Huh? So Ken is very upset, obviously. The prophets die during this, and Triclops flees the scene in shame, and he's so upset and whatnot. So later it's found out that the prophets of the dark side, namely Kanan, basically, or Kadan, I don't know. Basically, ultimately, it's retconned where he's revealed as a fake. Prophets of the dark side are real, but he was kind of, throughout the EU, it's kind of revealed that he was kind of a false prophet. And so, to me, that makes sense, because, I mean, we've heard of that in our own world, and we experienced that in our own world. So to me, it's like, okay, well, that would make sense. You know, you have this false prophet. So, meanwhile, the book then ends with what seems to be a contradiction. Personally, it technically isn't, but you have to explain some things. So let me explain. So the book ends with Han and Leia, and I believe there's an image in the back, and I remember this as a kid because even then this contradiction is just, or whatnot, has always stuck with me. Han and Leia it ends with their wedding, and for example, here is the image here. Leia's walking down the aisle to Han, and then while she's doing that, In the moments before it would be time for her to walk up the carpet and say, "I do," Leia calmly put herself in tune with the Force, and for an instant she thought she had a vision of the future. It was a glimpse of a time to come, a time when Leia would live with Han peacefully and safely in his sky house, floating in the air near Cloud City. It was also a time after their children had already been born. So she kind of has a vision to, or hinting at, Jason and Jaina Solo. Obviously, Anakin Solo will come a little bit later. But, so yeah, she kind of has that vision because at this point they kind of knew where they were headed. But, here's the thing though, people will be like, oh, there's a contradiction because they get married here. And it's actually in the courtship of Princess Leia where, that whole thing goes down. Well, here's the thing. Technically, we don't actually see Han and Leia get married. We just see it, the ceremony starting to begin. There could have been something that happened. Now, here's the thing. Paul Davids and Hollis Davids, the Davids are brothers, they have defended their series for a long, long time. And people have talked about how they have, had said that this originally wasn't going to be the last book in the series because they knew that they weren't going to be able to tell the wedding of Han and Leia. So they claimed that they were going to be doing another series or another book, and that one would the wedding wouldn't happen because of an event or something. And so, kind of a bummer we didn't get that, but it would have then explained, away this contradiction. So technically, though, there isn't a contradiction because, again, they never get married in this. It just ends with the ceremony about to start. So technically, no, it's not a contradiction. You just kind of have to, I guess, dig into it and maybe think a little hard. But ultimately, at the end of the day, we have finished the Jedi Prince series. Is this series an essential read? No. Obviously not. But here's the thing, folks. It's a fun series. I mean, I've joked about it. I've kind of clowned with it throughout our time covering it. And here's the thing. While, yes, it's goofy, and while, yes, it's silly, and while it is very Tommy Wiseau room-esque because of how, off the beaten path it is just a fun read. And honestly, revisiting it for these reviews have just been a lot of fun, and I definitely had a lot more fun with it this time around than I did initially when I first read them. I still don't know if I'd be in the camp of someone who was very upset about it when it was, decanonized or moved to Legends, but regardless, it's a fun book. It's a fun series, and if you want some goofy, fun Star Wars stories, the Jedi Prince series is definitely for you. Well, anyways, folks, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next time with another episode of the Star Wars Library.